Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the 2024 Hill United Chiefs Challenge in a critical game to end the round robin between two of the elite teams in this 8-team tournament going on at lovely Lions Park. It's the 3-0 host team, Hill United, taking on 2-1 Bear Creek Express, as they look to nail down one of the top 4 playoff spots and earn a semifinal berth. My name is Peter Lubardius. I'll be joined shortly by Joe Todd. And these two teams are no strangers to big games against one another. Bear Creek opened the tournament with a 5-0 setback at the hands of the defending ISC World Champion New York Gremlins before running off a couple of wins earlier today. And they give the ball to longtime national team member of Canada, Sean Cleary, who has a bit of a misstep coming out of the box. The 40-year-old from St. John's, who certainly headed straight to the Hall of Fame at some point when his career comes to an end. Cleary has pitched in no less than 5 men's world championships for his country. And in ISC terms, he's been a 9-time all-world pitcher, was part of the first team with this Bear Creek Express, a team that lost in the championship final last August in Denmark, Wisconsin. And he faces his longtime buddy, Shane Boland. And the catcher is his longtime battery mate, brother Ryan Boland. So it's always interesting, Joe, for me, when I see the two Bolands, and they don't play on the same club team. And I was lucky enough to have a great chat earlier today on my way out of the park with Ryan and one of the great competitors, and they're both great competitors. And the one question I still have not asked is, why do you guys play on opposite teams in the club level? I know you play every year in the Canadians together with the Galway Hitmen and have lots of national team experience, but I find that interesting. As we're nicely underway in this important battle, Hill United with a 3-0 record will certainly be in the semifinals tomorrow. It's a matter of where they will be seated. And expect Bear Creek, although they'd take a huge step forward, Joe, with your third win really guarantees you one of those spots.
Yes, it's a huge game right here in this game.
And Shane Boland trying to get 3-0 Hill United started and takes a changeup and a beauty with late movement. And Sean Cleary has the game's first strikeout. And look at this ball move late. Great change.
Great movement there.
And here's the 37-year-old from Harbor, Maine, Newfoundland, Brad Ezekiel, homered in their opening game last night here against the Northeast Drillers. One of the all-time best Canadian hitters, certainly in my lifetime. And he doesn't like to hear it.
No. Very humble.
Incredibly humble. And his track record over the years, he was 6 for 18 at the ISC World Tournament last year. Had 5 runs batted in for Hill United, who finished 4th. And they've made some changes, Joe. I think that's important to continue to mention as we head towards the ISC World Tournament in lovely Surrey at Softball City. If you are thinking about a little vacation and you love the sport of men's fast pitch softball, I highly recommend it.
Come on and join up, Peter and I, and Blair.
Yes, we will be there starting August the 10th. As Ezekiel trying to get Hill United started. The Newfoundland Express.
Oh, good pitch on the inside. Nothing wrong there.
I know that in the last game we had a player mic'd I could just sit and listen, forget about what I have to say.
And it was a real good talk with Shane Boland at shortstop.
They love the game. They've meant so much to the game, done so much for it. And another base hit for guess who? Brad Ezekiel, a one-out base hit to left. As Hill United looking to go a perfect 4-0. They advanced to the championship final here 1 year ago and lost 8-4 in the title game to the New York Gremlins. And who knows, maybe they're on a collision course once again. As Ezekiel delivers and brings to the plate, calls Waterford, Ontario home. From Australia is Nick Shales. He's in the designated player role in this game and fouls the in.
Nick had an injury in the game last night and then did not play this morning. Had one plate appearance in the previous game, so he wanted to test it, went for a run. I saw him go for a run in the third inning, went up to bat, and now he's back in the game. So he's on the road to recovery. He's not taking the field.
Yeah, he tweaked something last night in the game.
Yeah.
Had to leave. And facing Sean Cleary. And Cleary upstairs, and Shales had a good cut at it and know it.
Nice little rise ball.
No balls and 2 strikes to Shales. 2-time ISC most valuable player in 2015 and 2010. And a 10-time all-world performer at the ISC World Tournament. In on his hands, and a good piece of hitting to fight that off for Shales, who has helped his country of Australia win 2 world titles. In 2022, the most recently held competition at the highest level internationally, and was also part of the first ever Australian Men's World Championship in Saskatoon in 2009. He's 39 years of age, from Lismore in New South Wales. Ezekiel, the base runner. And Cleary wanted that.
Cleary's really working him on the inside.
Well, Blair and I joked last night during the game that we did together about the amount of different players and how many times they've faced one another. Mm-hmm. How about this matchup?
Yeah.
Both the ISC and internationally. This is not new.
No.
And Cleary again comes in, put it in a good spot, and Shales just able to stay off a tough pitch and runs the count to 2-2. Shales was 4 for 18 in last year's ISC World Tournament with a double and 3 runs batted in. Outfield straight away. Gets away from catcher Ryan Boland, and Ezekiel scampers into scoring position. And when we get a second or two, we'll set the batting lineup and things defensively for you. As Ryan Boland has a chat with the pitcher. The one thing that Ryan and I discussed today, and I think it's important to bring up, Joe, is for the Canadians and the North Americans, they're really just starting their season.
Yes.
They do not have the type of reps. And further to that, with all these players that we're talking about from Newfoundland, it was a tough winter there.
Yes.
And they just started league play in early June. So they're already behind. And then you think about other players we've talked about during the weekend is, again, Cleary works in tight, but Shales able to draw a one-out walk.
Yeah, really just 3 months of playing time here.
And when you get started late, and when you compare that to Australians,
New Zealand,
New Zealanders,
Japan,
Japan, Argentina.
Yeah.
You know, when they've had, whether it's qualifiers, Pan American Championships, they're well ahead.
Yes. You get to play at least 7 to 8 months.
So Hill United in business here early. As Cleary delivers to longtime Argentina national team member Bruno Matroni. From PAR1, the PAR1 party. There's a lot of softball players invited to that party. Matroni with a chance to give the undefeated Hill United Chiefs an early lead as Cleary again works inside but just misses. Matroni is 39 years of age, a two-time All-World player at the ISC in 2013 and with Hill United in 2021. In 2013, he was a member of the Pennsylvania Power, was also the MVP of the ISC in the year 2021. And goes the other way, a base hit. Here comes Ezekiel. The throw to the plate is not in time. And Bruno Matroni gives the Hill United Chiefs an early 1-0 lead. As he takes the ball the other way, on the outside corner, drives it to right. And Hill United continuing to perform very well with their ultra-talented lineup that includes Grand Valley, Ontario product Quentin Bruce. And this is a bit of a rivalry situation, Joe, because just 1 year ago, he was in the other uniform, playing for Bear Creek, but made the switch and the change, and you know that Hill United is delighted to have him.
A great addition.
And he has a lot of good years left in him. He batted .500 in a second straight all-world performance at the ISC in Denmark, Wisconsin last summer. 8 for 16 in the event, 2 doubles, a home run, and 6 runs batted in.
Cleary with 19 pitches so far in the inning and only 1 out.
So runners at second and third for Bruce.
The umpires for today's game on the home plate, Trevor Topping, first base, George Lemiche, and at third base, Dave Jackson.
Bruce also had a massive world championship for Canada, his first in 2022. He was 11 for 20. And had a good rip at that. Rise ball from Cleary, who he was obviously teammates with in that tournament that Canada lost in the gold medal final 5-2 to Australia. That tournament was played in New Zealand. The next World Men's Championship will be staged next July, the 8th, in fact, starting in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. Bruce looking to deliver a little insurance. On the ground, a one-hopper to Jason Hill, and has no opportunity to get Nick Shales, who scoots home with a second run for the Chiefs. And an RBI for Bruce. Good piece of hitting to take the ball to that side of the diamond, Joe.
And took it to exactly what you pulled on that. Pulling that ball. You want to hit that ball on that right side of the infield, scoring that run.
Bruce stays in the game. The courtesy runner situation for Matroni. And here's Lenny Villavazzo, and he has had himself a good weekend. popped this one in the air. Not an easy play whatsoever, but made out in right field by Canadian national team member Colin Walsh, who called Tyler Pauli off just in time. The Hill United Chiefs are off to a good start. They lead by a pair.
Catcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people.
A 2-0 advantage for Hill United as they take the field, and Roman Godoy is the starting pitcher, and here is the lineup, Joe Todd, that Bear Creek will throw at him, and it's a good one.
Jordan Pomeroy will be the leadoff batter, now playing center field. Batting second, Travis Jones. Batting third, Jason Hill. Batting fourth, the designated player, Wayne Lalu. Batting fifth, the right fielder, Colin Walsh. Batting sixth, the catcher, Ryan Boland. Batting seventh, the third baseman, Nicholas Kloss. Batting eighth, the second baseman, Tyler Pauli. And batting ninth, David Galino at shortstop.
And here is how things look defensively for the Hill United Chiefs. Around the outfield, it's Bruce in left, Ezekiel and White, Villavazzo, Gonzalez, Boland, and Josh McGovern. And the battery, the all-Argentina battery of Roman Godoy and Bruno Matroni, is the 29-year-old Godoy takes the ball again. He was a member of the JB Bombers at last year's ISC World Tournament, where he was a second-team all-world performer. He had 60 strikeouts in the World Tournament. His leadoff batter, Jordan Pomeroy, on the changeup, grounds out to second quickly. An early out for Godoy.
Two great additions put on by the Hill United Chiefs, Marco Diaz and Roman Godoy.
Well, pitching is just, it's
Major.
not quite everything,
Yeah.
but it's hard to get anything
Yeah.
done without elite level pitching in this game. And Godoy now facing Travis Jones. Jones is 32, 0 for 4 at last year's ISC World Tournament. His best ISC came in 2019 as he fouls this out of play. He was a member of the Toronto Batmen then, Joe, which you'll remember well. Went 10 for 25 that year with 3 homers and 7 runs batted in.
Some weeks that ball just looks like a beach ball.
It obviously did that week. So 1 out. Godoy worked earlier today, and he follows up the ground out with his first strikeout. And always have to imagine the psyche of a pitcher is a little different when you take the bump with a lead.
Yes. Barry, you're thinking that much more positive. You can play around with some pitches. You know you got it in tough, but you've got that 2-run cushion.
On the topic of good players and good humans, here's Jason Hill. Another long-time Canadian national team member. And a swing and a miss on the pitch from Godoy. Jason is 39. He'll turn 40 on the 12th of September. He's a 2015 world champion, Pan American Games champion in that same year. Has played in countless world championships going back to 2013 for his country. And fouls this back out of play as he's looking to provide Bear Creek's first hit. In their battle last night with the New York Gremlins, the Sticks were in tough against the likes of Migliavaca and Jack Besgrove. They only had a couple of hits in that game, but in their couple of wins today, and one was a 4-3 victory right down to the end, and Jason Hill is upset and looks like he's going to gain control. Whenever the batter takes a couple of steps towards the circle, you always are
gets a little scary,
a little concerned, but cooler heads prevail.
Trevor Topping took over there.
So hit by a pitch. And 43-year-old Wayne Laulu, longtime New Zealand national team member, and in fact, he's on the list to play at the qualifier in Prince Albert this summer. And New Zealand needs to have a good tournament because they did not in 2022 in their homeland.
Yes.
Finished 8th.
Very important. They have a good tournament out there.
Would need a top 2 finish to assure themselves a spot in next year's World Cup. As Godoy missing down low.
Well, with those 2 runs put on the board by the United Chiefs, Bear Creek Express have to find a reply real early.
And Godoy misses up with the rise ball that time. Laulu was a member of the Gremlins last season as he makes the switch to Bear Creek.
Change of address.
A 4-time All-World performer. And in the 3-0 pitch, Godoy gives Laulu something that he's not concerned about.
No, he just gauged that pitch too.
You have got to be careful with this gentleman. Still very capable and not cheated on that swing. As the count to the 43-year-old runs full. He only had 5 official at-bats in Denmark, Wisconsin last August, but still managed to hit a home run in a semifinal game off the Niagara Stompers. And the rise just missed. So hit by a pitch, a walk to Laulu, and Bear Creek down by a pair. Send the right fielder Colin Walsh, the 31-year-old from Petty Harbor, Newfoundland, with a chance to get on the board. He batted .357 at last year's World Tournament, and Godoy comes in with a strike.
Godoy had 2 quick outs there in this inning, and now back-to-back here, hit by pitch, walk. Big scenario here for Colin Walsh.
It feels that way early, doesn't it?
Yes.
I know it's only the first, and both of these teams are capable of putting up crooked numbers for absolute sure, but you do sense, as Godoy misses in a quick snap throw by Matroni.
Roman says,
don't do that again.
Tell me.
I don't know why you'd say that in Spanish, but that was good humor. Not for the pitcher.
No,
for us.
For us.
And Matroni unloaded in a hurry, I might add. Walsh up the middle, a base hit. And Bear Creek is on the board. Laulu is safe at third. Didn't really see a call from the umpire.
Well, if there's no call, he's safe.
generally like one way or the other myself, however, but you're right. A good throw in as Colin Walsh delivers. As he drives that, Ezekiel comes up with a strong throw. And Laulu definitely in safe, and exactly what Bear Creek was looking for. And the tying run is 60 feet away. And a chance for longtime veteran Canadian catcher Ryan Boland to tie the game. Or maybe give his team the lead.
Yes, possibly. Great 2-out hit there by Colin Walsh. Clutch.
Godoy and Boland in a battle. And a swing and a miss from Boland that time. As Godoy gets ahead 2 strikes. If you look up in the dictionary the word intensity, you might find Ryan Boland's picture there.
Yes.
Love talking with him. Always learn. And Godoy, the drop ball is a good one. Colin Walsh has Bear Creek right back in it. They trail Hill United 2-1 after 1.
Design
2-1 in favor of Hill United. Their record is 3-0. Bear Creek is 2-1, but trail by that count. Look at some lovely souvenirs nearby. Some nice looking merch, as the kids like to say.
Yes. You don't want to say a complete word anymore.
No.
It's not cool.
If you can't put it in 3 letters, they're not really interested. I shouldn't be that guy, but
yeah.
I still like the full word myself.
Yeah.
So Hill United with a pair off Sean Cleary, and Bear Creek came right back on Colin Walsh's sharp RBI single to right center. Drew to within 1, and Bear Creek left runners at second and third in the inning as well. Tony Gonzalez to lead it off, and a fist bump for Ryan Boland. Take a look at the crowd, and I think they're a little more comfortable, as it has been very, very warm all week here in southern Ontario. And Cleary paints the outside corner. See if he can really settle in.
Yeah, you want to get comfortable out in the mound, have a good quick inning.
Certainly threw innings earlier today in their 4-3 win over Toronto. At some point as the evening goes along, we'll try and bring you up to date as far as the standings and the divisions. are concerned can tell you that playoff Sunday will begin on both diamonds tomorrow at 10, with the top 4 teams squaring off against one another, and then the championship final slated for noon right here on this diamond. And we'll have it for you on Softball Premier TV. As the rise up and away to Tony Gonzalez, the 35-year-old from Mexico. He is from Tijuana and went 4 for 13 in last year's ISC World Tournament with a triple and 5 runs batted in. Represented his country in the 2019 Men's World Championship, which, Joe, I think you remember quite fondly.
Yes, great tournament.
I must have been asleep that summer. It was in the city that is number 1 on my bucket list, and an event that I haven't seen for a while now with my own 2 eyes, the Men's World Cup. I think that'll change in 2025.
Yes, it will.
I have an inkling.
I'm hoping to have that on my list.
Oh, I will, regardless of the role, I will be in Prince Albert.
Yes. I was out there in 2016 for the World Juniors, and a really well-staged tournament.
Prime Minister's Park, and an excellent pitch. Gonzalez didn't think so. He thought he was maybe on his way to first base, but Sean Cleary starts the top of the second with a strikeout of Gonzalez, his first strikeout of the game. Even though he was the losing pitcher, and make that 2, thank you, Joe. Even though he was the losing pitcher last night, I think he still ended up with 10 strikeouts in the game. As he deals